I'm here for questions. Really, I was brought in some of the questions of what's going on with maybe the coverages of the fire department and how things need to be adjusted or any questions that you guys may have. So feel free to let me know what questions you may have and how, if anything, needs to be adjusted.
Okay. I just have a couple questions.
Yes, sir.
Maybe 3 or 4 here. Our current apparatus, we have 2 engines. One is a custom-built fire truck that is strictly designed to go underneath the tunnel. It's the only fire truck in Lebanon County that'll go under that tunnel.
Okay.
Which one is that, the 96 or the 2001?
96.
96.
Scan up there.
Yeah. We don't know what is how much that is worth.
Okay.
We don't know if it was ever updated as far as if something was to happen to that piece of apparatus, what is the replacement cost of a custom-built fire truck? And I know that's hard to kind of determine a replacement. We don't know what the policy. I say we don't know. Not all of us are aware of the policy. What does it look like to replace something like that?
So the way the policy is written right now is an agreed value. Okay. The insurance company, on other, like for example, we just did this West Hanover Township and their fire department as well. Okay. They worked with their vendor of whoever they would go to that would spec out their fire truck. Okay. And it was it's not what the insurance company needs for both vehicles is basically an email simply from whoever would spec out the truck for you guys that basically says like, hey, this would be about $1 million for us to redo for you, or 1.1 or something like that, 800,000, whatever it may be. And then the company is willing to give you agreed value. Right now, they have the truck listed at 400,000 of the agreed value, the maximum that they would pay. Okay. It's probably under what it needs to be, but without the agreed value, they need something from the third party that justifies the value which they're giving.
Yes.
Once they do that, they'll do that for both trucks.
Okay. All right.
Now, is that going to, I'm sorry, I hate to interrupt you, but does that have to be itemized?
No. Just an overall. It doesn't have to be the intricate, like, because it's a lot of work for the fire.
Yeah, break down everything. The basic, what does it cost? No bells and whistles. We just want to know.
Yes.
Hey, this happens today. What are we gonna do? Yes.
But it's got to be from
a vendor.
Verifiable vendor. Yeah. It can't be somebody said, blah 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 blah. So
yeah.
Okay.
I think they went to. Is there someone in Illinois? It might have been.
There's Pierce. There's
Pierce. It might have been Pierce that they went to for that. So it's just a number to get from somebody like that.
That makes sense. Yeah.
So with that, and it's seen that the truck is underinsured, so it needs the engine. Needs to be insured for more. Mm-hmm. Is that more cost for the township? Because the township pays it.
Yes, it will be. When you increase the values, ultimately, they're going to rate on, like, let's say this vehicle was damaged, they are going to charge more money because it was no longer 400,000 if that apparatus is destroyed. If it is $600,000, $700,000, $800,000, they're going to have to pay it, so it will increase the cost.
Does it have to be the vendor that they got the truck from?
No, not necessarily. Anybody that...
Any respectable vendor.
Yes.
I guess another question here. For our company, for our drivers, we have bylaws and SOGs that we follow, which some of that is passed down from the insurance company and the NFPA there. Do you have anything specifically that... tells our drivers this is what we need? Yes.
VFI. So you're with VFIS. Yes. They're an excellent. I mean, that's all they do is fire departments and emergency. Like we have the city of Lebanon with them. So we just worked with them. Here's basically an outline, and we can send over more training material. It's like a motor vehicle report. So running motor vehicle reports on anyone that's operating the apparatuses, the engines, and it also basically outlines. So it outlines what's going on in on someone's personal record. Like, let's say they have a DUI or they have 3 or 4 speeding violations. It'll show basically like what VFIS is looking for to disqualify them.
Okay.
It's like no more than 3 minor violations in 3 years.
Okay.
And that kind of stuff. So.
Or heaven forbid, a suspended license.
Yeah, suspended license, that's equivalent to getting caught driving with a suspended license. That's essentially equivalent to a DUI in the insurance company's eyes.
Okay.
So is that all moving violations or just, like, blowing stop, you know what I mean?
Whatever would show up on a motor vehicle report, it outlines like what's considered a minor violation and what's considered a major violation. But the 2 big ones are DUIs and getting caught driving with a suspended license.
Okay. Right now, all of our drivers, we submitted copies to the township of their driver's license.
Okay.
Are you requiring anything else as far as documentation for us to pass over to you? Okay. Hours. We have a 10 hours, which is a requirement. I forget the standard exactly. It requires us, 10 hours pump time, 10 hours drive time. And each one of our drivers has to be able to do all that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think VFIS, when I breezed through it, I don't think I saw any
like EVOC training?
Well, EVOC training is
That has
automatically
to be.
8 hours.
Okay.
That we have to have that class to be able to do that. EVT, I think they call it now.
Okay.
Some of the older guys have EVOC, now it's EVT. It's
Okay.
basically the same.
Mm-hmm.
They just reworded it.
And certificates are given in everyone's personnel file for those.
Correct.
10 hours drive.
So is there a
I
requirement,
thought you were asking.
is there a requirement on your guys' end of how much we need to drive or pump to say, hey, yes, we're covering them, no, we're not covering them?
As far as my knowledge, no, but I will get you a firm answer on that.
Okay.
I will confirm their guidelines and that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Tyler, would you explain to them a little bit what you explained to me and John and Antoinette when we met with you about the VFI and doing those last minute coordinated visits?
Oh yeah, they have a risk control rep that has he comes out and with the renewal coming up.
It's ISO, is that ISO?
No.
Something different?
VFIS employs their own risk consultants. Most of them are in the volunteer fire space. It's all that they do.
Okay.
So he can be a guy that I can put you in contact, and he can go through anything that you need. He can talk about the services that VFIS provides, what's required, what's not required. He's phenomenal. We just had him out at the city of Lebanon, and it was a very productive meeting.
Okay. Yeah. Now, is that something that has to be conducted here, or can that be conducted over the firehouse?
Oh, it can be conducted over there.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah, if you put that in an email with some of the other contact information.
Mm-hmm.
The only last question here that's came up a couple times. Our president is behind us, Bill Hauser. In the event that something happens that the insurance company needs to be contacted, Bill Hauser is the contact.
Mm-hmm.
Should he be contacting you directly, or do we go through the Board of Commissioners?
He can.
What is that? What is preferred?
It would
method?
just be like a regular accident. You only have so long to contact the insurance company.
Okay.
So if something happens, the Board of Commissioners need to know immediately.
Right.
But whoever, it would be silly for you to contact John Garganis and have him call an insurance company when he wasn't there to know what happened. They're gonna have questions that only the
But we have
person
to
that's
be
involved.
We have to be in the loop.
Yes.
Don't want no surprises.
So you need to notify both.
We don't want to.
Right.
Yeah.
So who's primary? Do we call them first and then let you know second, or does it?
It's immediate. You call both of us immediately. So I would call, it doesn't matter. Just, they need to both be called consecutively, one right after the other.
Yeah, I mean, you can call us, and then basically we'll file a claim for you on your behalf, and get the ball rolling, and then you guys can do your own internal protocol between the township and you guys.
And the township manager needs to know too.
Well, that would come from you then.
We all have to be in the loop.
That's all I have as far as questions for you. It was real easy. But no, I'll look over this. We do have some VFIS paperwork. A lot of our, like we yearly, all of our members fill this out, driver's license information, and everything like that. But I will review this to make sure this is the same thing that I have. Other than that,
I think I would be safe to say that in the future, if we're gonna increase the coverage, renewal's coming up in what, June or July?
I believe it is
June, I think.
July 21st is the renewal. So yeah, I mean, if you can get a vendor by that time to give you some kind of indication. I mean, like for example, we just had this with West Hanover. It wasn't that long. It might have taken them a couple of days just to respond. Where the guy's like, "Hey, looking at this, I think their engine was like 1.2 or something like that. Okay. It didn't take very long, and that email was sufficient for them to say, "Yep, it came from them. We can do that, and we can get everything priced out for you for sure."
We probably, definitely for sure, have to budget that for next year.
yeah. So we'll gather the information on our part. So see what we gotta do. We'll look at some vendors, which is gonna be more.
Do you recommend a specific one, or is it?
I would really say to go whichever of
whatever's affordable for us.
You're choosing, and again, it's just an overall ballpark. It's not like
set in stone. Yeah,
right.
It just gives you a vague.
Yeah,
I shouldn't say vague.
It gets you in the ballpark, basically, of what it is. So yeah, and then if you guys ever have questions, feel free to reach out to our agency as well. We're happy to help out in any way.
We have talked to Jeff multiple times.
Okay.
So.
Yep.
Thank you very much, Tyler, for coming.
Thank you.
We really do appreciate it.
Yep. Thank you. Have a good night, everybody.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you.
Take it easy. Thank you.
Okay, I guess the next topic is the boxcar.
There is.
Why did they come up with the name boxcar? Or box card or boxcar?
Cards. Cards. Like deck of cards.
I can't answer that. I don't know the exact.
I don't know if somebody worked
I
for the
can-
railroad
I
or
can help
something,
you
or
with
what,
that.
you know.
The box cards were physical cards that they would pull out and say, this fire company is on,
Gotcha.
this address goes to this fire company, because they would be raising money, and the fire companies were really concerned that they got credit for the right homes. And sometimes the line ran down the middle of the street, so it depended what side of the street you were on. Now it's all done electronically.
Gotcha.
Alrighty. I know you just don't have this physically in front of you here, but I'm going to go through each one of these. What apparatus is dispatched? If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Typically, this isn't always presented to the public. What apparatus is responding to their township, but in this case, the public wants to know. Here we are. In the event that there's an automatic fire alarm within the township. So an automatic fire alarm could be, give you a quick example here. You're cooking something on the stove, your alarm system is set up directly to a third party, sets the alarm off, 911 dispatch is notified, we get dispatched. So in the event that happens, you're gonna get a ladder from Ebenezer Fire Company. You're going to get their ladder, you're going to get our engine, and you're going to get engine 14, which is out of Neversink Fire Department, and Chief 39 will be in dispatch as well, an officer.
Are you going off of what we have here, or what you propose?
You went off that 3901 box, what do you have there, page 2?
93901? Okay?
Yeah, your 3901 box and your 3902, they are going to mirror. We're not gonna change them any differently.
Right.
Our township's very small, so it's not
Yeah.
like we're,
Yeah, we were over to see, Mr. Dow and Mr. Wilson over at the,
John Wilson, yep, and Bob
Yeah.
Dow, yes.
yeah, they gave us
He
a
gave you a
nice
tour
briefing
and
and
a
stuff, and
rundown, but
These are the old box cards.
I have no idea what you have here.
These are old.
But I can tell you what the new ones are.
Which were those?
Those are the current ones.
These are what we have currently, right now, as of today, dispatched into the West Lebanon Township.
Yeah, these are old ones. These are old box cards. So, what is going to be easier for you? Do you want me to explain to you what the new box cards are going to be, or do you want me to explain to you what the old box cards? Because
Explain the change.
well, let me ask you a couple things if I might.
Oh, no, go ahead, go
I'm
ahead.
new to this position, and I just wanna make sure that I understand.
That's fine.
What is, what is making you think that you need to change the box car?
I figured you'd ask this question here.
Oh, yeah,
So,
inquiring minds wanna know.
that's all right. So, volunteering in the fire service, every fire department's hurting in Lebanon County. So at some point in time, it used to be, we'll dispatch one engine and that'll be sufficient. That is not the case anymore, because sometimes engines don't get out. This is a volunteer. The only paid department's Lebanon City. So we start adding additional pieces of apparatus. It's okay to call additional pieces of apparatus and cancel them. It's harder to get to a scene and require more, and now you're delayed in time. So we moved some things around. Some fire companies have gained a lot more members. So, you know, one fire company may be responding with 3 personnel. One fire company may be responding with 10. That can all change with time.
Yeah.
You know, people work day shift,
Sure.
night shift. You never know exactly, but if a department is showing up continuously with 6 guys, 6, 7 guys, that's a lot of guys to be responding to a fire call. If we're able to use that asset, which is an asset, manpower, we're going to use it. Now, every fire truck is just about carrying the same piece of equipment. We have engines, there's rescue squads. Each one of them specialize in something.
Right.
Each one of them is bringing a particular tool that may be required to do a particular job. You may say, hey, why are they not dispatched? They're the closest versus another department. One company may be bringing more manpower and bringing the right tool for the job. Not saying that we can't dispatch additional. At any point in time that you're responding, you can request additional manpower.
Yeah.
At any point in time, you can deny manpower.
Well, now, this change that you wanna make, has Mr. Dow seen this change? Because I know you were in there to meet with him
That's
last
correct.
month.
No, because every one of you have to sign off on that,
Okay,
as well as our EMA coordinator.
right.
So I would not submit anything unless you use our
Well, no, I didn't mean submitted it.
Yeah.
I
There's
mean,
no
I know, he said you were in there last month.
Yeah, I had a meeting with them.
Right. And I didn't know if you said, this is what we're going to propose.
No, I did tell them that in the future we will be changing box cards. They are unaware of what those changes will be. I actually sat down with Wilson.
Right.
He did show me how they entered in, how is the box card, you know,
Yeah.
something I didn't know very well before, and he did show me.
Well, the reason why I asked that is because, Mr. Dow, when we were there, had indicated that, I guess you might have showed him something, you know, change
Yeah.
coming. And, his comment was that he didn't see why you were gonna change it. So that's why I'm asking the question.
I'd like to know what he saw that I don't know. I don't know what I would have showed him because I did not. These box cards were only made up, I would say. If I had a meeting, it was sometime, I'm not sure exactly, but these box cards were only made up, I don't know, 2 weeks ago. So there wasn't anything to show him.
Yeah, I don't know.
He may have seen the old
comment
ones.
that he made, so.
I'm
Yeah.
not sure why he would have made a comment
Yeah.
to you like that anyway, because that was unprofessional.
But, So
My biggest concern is, what is the best for the township?
that's why we're going over this today.
That's what
Not for you or me.
No, because
It's the
if you didn't
township.
know this, I took a class one time before, took a couple classes actually. When we set up box cards, everyone is gonna sign it, everyone's gonna sign, you're accepting liability.
Right.
Okay, me as fire chief is accepting liability, you, everyone at this table is accepting that. So, you may not understand everything, you may not understand which piece of apparatus has what tool on. And if you're not familiar with the fire service, I don't expect you to know everything.
Right.
And we're not gonna cover all of that tonight. But we wanna do what's best for the residents of West Lebanon. We wanna make sure that they're getting the best fire protection they can. At the same time, we don't wanna be dispatching 700 fire trucks, we'll use this a large number here, for something that it's not needed, you know. We don't wanna be, you'll see we'll keep Lebanon City on our box cards.
Mhm.
They are paid department, they're ready to go at a moment's notice, they're
Right.
very important to us. But at the same time, we don't wanna strip Lebanon City of paid department.
All right.
They only carry 2 on the fire truck. So you have one that's considered an operator, a driver. Say if he gets here, he has to operate the pump at a given time. That means you only have one person now that's actively involved with the fire scene.
Right.
Here's my question for you.
Yes.
If for some reason it is decided that box cards are not gonna be signed off on as being changed.
Mhm.
As chief of the fire company, if something goes wrong and something, you can be sued, because literally you are the one who is in charge of the fire company. It all falls on you. So if you're bringing the box cards to this table right now, and this table, who is not active firemen, decide that you can't change the box cards as you see fit, does that take the does that legally put the liability on us, or is it still you?
I'm not I'm not a lawyer. I can't really answer that correctly, but what I can say, at any given time that I pick up that radio and say, give me this engine, give me that engine, the county will dispatch that.
Right.
So if we don't change these box cards here tonight, not saying we have to do it tonight, you know, if there's questions that I don't answer tonight, we can always come back,
Okay.
reevaluate it. But at any point in time, let's just say these box cards are kept the same, and I feel like I need additional manpower, I need additional tools, I can call county and say, give me additional, right?
Right.
So
But-
there's no liability on our part if we decide not to do this.
I'm sure there's liability, but I cannot answer that. There is liability, but I cannot, the box cards have worked correctly before, we've had some ups and downs. The liability part is on all of us, but I cannot say exactly where it lies, but yes, there is liability.
Okay, well, that's my concern.
Because again, you gotta remember, our township citizens are what's best in mind with these box cars. They're not.
Right, but I'm just saying, if you don't have a majority vote on this, then where does the responsibility lay? So, okay.
We would have to gather all the questions, gather information, sit down and then evaluate, you know, the pros and cons of each one.
Okay.
And that would be another additional longer meeting, because everyone would have to understand which piece of apparatus is carrying what, why, and some statistics are going to be hard to get from other fire departments.
Right.
Going to another fire department and going, hey, I want to see what your typical manpower is. They may not get that information up right away. You know, they may be a little hesitant, but I don't think we'll have to get to that point. Shouldn't be that extreme.
Would that change in any way if you went to a regional?
I can't answer that. I really can't.
As
I
far as
don't
what?
have the answer for that.
You know, I mean, it just popped up in my head, you know.
I can't answer that.
Yeah.
John, I think, so what they're gonna do is what they wanna do is run their equipment now. That study could come back 8 months, a year, but until that, when the study suggests something, this would be the fire response for the time being.
Okay.
My understanding about the meeting tonight is that you're going to explain basically how this works, but no decision is going to be made until, let's say, the
Yeah,
next
no,
meeting at the.
Yeah, no decision is going to be made tonight, but we're at some point in time, we're going to have to come to an agreement. This is what we want to move forward with. We don't want to drag this out for a long time.
I think the attorney had said because it's a public meeting and was advertised, we could vote on it, but I don't think that we would. I think we would put it off until
Yeah, you can put it out for next meeting. I don't know how
the April.
But I look like this here, and you say you have one that's gonna change.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'd like to
not
see.
sure.
Those are the current ones.
I'd like to see something.
How did you get that? Did you get that from John? Did you print them all? Okay.
Yeah, you know what I mean, that's my training is.
Okay,
I
yeah,
gotta- I
I
gotta
did not
see
know you had
something,
old
so-
box cards. It doesn't, I mean, you have a reference what to look at.
Right.
I don't have one right in front of me here, but, it's a bad page here, I'll show you. But, you'll see when I say, hey, this engine's on here, engine 39, engine 15. Let's just say engine 15's not there on it anymore, but engine 39 is.
Oh, okay.
It'll just, it won't show that piece of apparatus that's being dispatched. One thing I want to point out is if you look through all of our box cards here on the 3901 and the 3902, we have no backup unit. We are not required to put a backup unit on there. The downside of that is we have 2 engines. If one engine doesn't get out, it's going to go to the proximity, the CAD system. I don't know if Bob told you about that. It would go right to our next engine. Well, if we didn't get the first engine out, we're not going to get the second engine out.
Right.
So you have to really plan that accordingly. Hey, this is the next piece of apparatus I want dispatched in the event X, Y, and Z does not show up.
So you're saying you would be choosing which of those 2 engines to send out?
Yeah, and
that
all
would-
these box cards, we are choosing which engine is going to be dispatched, which engine, truck, rescue squad.
Okay.
Because each engine has a different function.
Yes, yes. Oh, each engine, each one is designed differently. You have pumps, hose lengths, everything, ladder trucks, lengths, rescue squads, bring all sorts of equipment. Every piece is not the same.
Right.
Do you have a separate rescue squad truck?
In our firehouse?
Yeah.
No.
No,
we do
I
not.
just wondered.
Yeah.
'cause
We
I-
used to have a squad,
Mhm.
but it became very old and needed, so we got rid of that and got the other engine.
Okay, so basically you just have the 2 engines.
We have the 2 engines.
Correct.
The one, anything that's at the mall, they usually take the one that is equipped to go through the tunnel, since due to response time, because we can get there quicker.
Well,
Be
that's
something
helpful
nice
to me
if-
because my husband was a volunteer firefighter and I'm just used to a rescue squad being involved, but that helps me to understand the situation a little
It'd be
better.
nice if Norfolk Southern could, make a more accessible tunnel for us, that'd be nice.
Say that again?
A more accessible tunnel, like
He
wider.
said it would be
Oh.
nice.
Well, I don't know how public it is, but that tunnel is going to become proprietary to the rail trail with a land swap with the people that own the land that goes around the corner. And eventually the road will go from 422 straight across the railroad track with a bridge, and then it will end up in the park. So it'll be a swap of land, so that road will be closed from where it goes over to the tunnel. Does that make sense?
Yes.
I mean, that's in the works.
From Hanford to the south side of the tunnel, it's gonna be pedestrian traffic only.
Right. That's what I was trying to say. If I
So they're
didn't,
doing away with the tunnel, pretty much.
I put on the long-term transportation thing. We shall be discussing that though, because we should be discussing fire companies.
Agreed.
Right,
Just,
okay, that's good.
yeah.
Maybe explain what your box cars are, what side of the township they are, and explain to us what you had and what you want to do now. Make it a little easier.
Okay. We have 2 box cards. Right now we are sitting currently at 3902. Across tracks on the south side would be a 3901 box. Chase and I talked about it. We're not a very large township, so no matter if you're in a 3901 box or a 3902 box, you will have the same apparatus responding. So if you have an accident here, you'll have the same apparatus responding if you have an accident in a 3901 box. It will not be any different. As far as, we'll start here with the automatic fire alarms. I'm going to read off the old box cards first, and then I will read you the new box cards.
What
Joel, did you have something?
Yeah, I had a question. When I first became a commissioner,
Yes.
this was one of the issues I had to research because there was a lot of controversy going on. And at that time, and I'm asking if this has changed, at that time, response time was the priority for who got which call.
It's not necessarily response time. If it's in a 39 box, company 39 is due to respond. They are a primary fire service. Now, whoever responds in mutual aid is where we can look at distance, look at time, look at the tools that they're bringing. I wouldn't say that's really a problem anymore. Like I said earlier, volunteering, there's not that many manpower short everywhere. Yeah. So you will have to call additional manpower, additional resources to maybe take care of that current.
I understand. I was going to her question on liability. The liability was set up because of the insurance companies wanting the closest responder to respond.
We have 4 minutes to respond before county goes into a replacement engine or a truck or whatever is being dispatched at that time. So you have 4 minutes to respond. If you don't, if an officer of 39 is not on the radio, county will automatically click on a button and it will send the next due piece of apparatus. So the county is pretty well advanced now that they're able to, be pretty quick on that. Timer starts for them. They know, hey, it's time to replace. It's time to get the next due. We have paid EMS, paid police, so they're on it pretty quick. They usually beat us there to the scene, so they can give an update pretty quickly as well, which will determine, hey, is this piece of apparatus actually needed or is not.
Okay.
Again, like you said, when it comes down to replacement, if our one engine fails, well, now it's something we need another engine. It's going to automatically pull our second engine because of we're the closest. So that's why we have it set up the way we do now. We're trying to set up where it will automatically designate.
Is that to eliminate the lapse in time between replacements? So now you're talking 8 minutes.
Yep.
That a fire truck could be on the street responding to our township.
Yeah. So if you go from 4 minutes and we failed, we didn't get out the door. Well, now you have another 4 minutes of sitting there that another fire truck is not getting out the door.
That's the replacement.
Let's do box cards.
Okay. So previously, for an automatic fire alarm, you had engine 39, you had engine 15, you had rescue engine 14.1, and you had ladder 15.
All right, what page are you on for
so
automatic?
It would be page 2 of your 3902 box, and on the bottom it will say call type, AFA.
Okay, AFA is automatic fire alarm?
Yes, right.
It's just I don't know
What
all the abbreviations
if you're not
are.
familiar with fire, if you're not familiar with
Like when you said SOP, that's standard operating procedure.
yeah, SOGs, yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So what do you want to put?
So what we have in is we're keeping our engine, engine 39. We're taking off the rescue engine. We're applying engine 14 and removing ladder 15, which is the city, and we're putting ladder 9 on. In the event one of the two engines does not go en route, we get wagon 58, which is out of Cleona Borough, and we get a city engine. In the event that ladder 9 does not go en route, we get ladder 15, which it could be truck 20, it could be truck 18. I'm not sure what the rotation is, so I'm not sure which one we will be exactly getting. That's not for me to determine their schedule.
So you're running your engine,
Yes.
a city engine?
No.
No city.
It's taking the city off.
City off. I'm applying engine 14.
Her engine 14.
And where is that from?
Never sink right across the tracks.
Neverson?
Yeah, they are. I got some distances. They're not very. They're like 2,000 some odd. They're 2,600. They're not even a mile away from us. They're very close.
And you're putting ladder 9.
Correct.
Which is where?
Ebenezer.
It's right up the hill. Yeah.
Close,
Okay.
very
They
close.
are. Ladder 9 is 1 mile away. If you go on to page 2, an aircraft incident. In the event of something like this would happen, it could be a large, it could be small, we don't know. Many resources will be involved in this. This is just a basic dispatch, what we will be getting, but additional resources will obviously be needed.
So you'd be taking off,
What we're doing is, our old box cars has engine 39, engine 15, rescue engine 14.1, ladder 15, rescue 24, crash 75, which is out of the gap, and we have chief 39. Our new box cars would be engine 39, rescue engine 14.1, rescue 42, rescue 48, we're putting a pumper tanker on there, and we're getting crash 75.
Wait, slow down there. Rescue 42, rescue what?
48.
Yeah, he's gonna send John
And then what?
copies of the
PT
proposed changes.
Pumper tanker. An aircraft accident, like I said, it could be a little Cessna crashing. It could be a very much larger piece of apparatus, which would then, a lot more resources are going to be involved. I mean, I have here Chief 50 is automatically notified, of an incident like that. Something like that, that's a large scale incident.
If you guys aren't familiar, Chief 50 is that Lebanon County hazmat chief. So hazmat will automatically be notified of aircraft down.
it's the Lebanon County hazmat.
Yep. So as soon as we get dispatched for an aircraft accident, Chief 50 will be dispatched right away.
Explain what hazmat is.
So,
Hazardous materials,
Okay.
right?
yep.
Okay.
Because jet fuel, airplane fuel, whatever, that's
Mhm.
some pretty wicked stuff.
Our next one is a business commercial. I can read it on my end. So, our old box cards here had engine 39, engine 15, rescue engine 14.1, ladder 15, ladder 9, rescue 24. Our new one, we have engine 39, engine 14, engine 9, wagon 58, rescue engine 11.
Slow down, slow down.
Oh, sorry.
I can't write as fast as you're talking.
I can email these over to you. Did you get rescue engine?
Engine 14, engine 9, what?
Wagon 58.
Rescue engine 11. Ladder 15. Ladder 48. Rescue 48. And pumper tanker 43.
What was
Wait,
that
wait,
last thing that
Say
you
say
said?
the ladder trucks one more time?
Ladder 15.
Yeah?
A ladder 48.
Why are you bringing in Ebenezer for that?
That's what we chose. My conversation with Mike Leonard was they have some trouble getting their truck out.
Well, why did you change them on the first box? If they're having trouble getting the truck out, why are you changing it on the first box? You took a city paid truck off that's available 24/7, correct?
And we took them off for
But you said you put Ebenezer on, correct?
where we at here.
But if you can't get Ebenezer out on that box, how are you gonna get them out in the first box?
We have them out on an automatic fire alarm. I'm not saying an automatic fire alarm cannot be a fire.
I'm not saying that either, Skylar. I'm
Yeah.
just saying what you just told us.
Yes. Well, what I had them set is they're set there just because our conversation with Mr. Leonard, Let me go back over here and look at this one. I don't ever want to say an automatic fire alarm is not as important as a business commercial. An automatic fire alarm can be a fire at times, but at the same time, we have ladder 15 dispatched as well.
Okay, for that one, if it is a business commercial fire, and we're talking proximity, even no matter what Mr. Leonard has said at this point, it would be silly and irresponsible to bring a truck from 48, a ladder from 48 when we have one right up the hill. Let me finish. If they don't get out, that's on them. But to not, I completely understand what John's saying in this, is to have them on one thing, because an automatic fire alarm could very well be a business commercial, and you don't know that till you get there.
Correct.
So to put them on that box because, oh, it could be nothing. Okay, well, we've gotten to business commercial fires and they've been nothing too. It just makes, it doesn't make much sense, Skylar, to do it that way.
We looked at it as a quick response. When it comes to fires like that, we looked at a quick response, get a ladder truck there. And we
But
looked
it's
at
not quick if they can't get it out of the.
No, ladder 15 is a paid department.
Ladder 15
Oh,
is,
alright.
48 is
So
not.
it's not.
48 is
here's the deal.
question.
Your second alarm, it used to be ladder 48, but now you're getting it on your first alarm. So I stacked my first alarm because most of the time this happens, you can't get the manpower you need. So you're going to go to second alarm right away to get the manpower you need. So if you stack your first alarm, get all the manpower you need, you're good. You get a second alarm, you're getting more. Or you can wait that time, which is very precious, and dispatch them again. So,
That's
if
a
we want
I'm
to,
afraid you're gonna be stacking too much, and you're
I
gonna get,
don't
you're
think
gonna,
there's
you're gonna get to the
overstacking too
scene,
much.
you're gonna get to the scene, you're gonna say, oh, we don't need yous,
That's
and
fine.
these guys are gonna get ticked off like it happened before, and you know it didn't, Lebanon County is tough for it,
That's okay.
and they're gonna end up,
They're not the one that's accepting liability.
I understand that, but I'm just saying what you're doing is, I don't think it, well, never mind. I'm shutting up.
Okay,
So
and
we'll revisit the business commercial and the first alarm. We're
Please
gonna revisit that.
up until now, that's the only one that
Okay.
I've struggled with.
You want to go to your business commercial second alarm, or do you want to skip over that entirely?
I think,
What's the
that's up to
difference
you guys,
between-
but I think if you want your first alarm done,
Your business commercial and your second alarm, you're getting 5 more pieces of apparatus. You need the manpower. You call for a second alarm.
What I think is, this is life and death. There's a lot of volunteers that aren't anymore, and we need to utilize, this is 2024, we need to utilize at all means what we can to get fire protection with the adequate response that you're going to need. I can't really be too vocal, but I do have vested interest in the fire service for many, many years, and I do know what rigs get out today versus what used to get out 10 years ago. And that is why I believe this here is trying to make sure we have more than enough coming to our township for our residents. And we have to take that into consideration, that the fire company's best interest is in the community as well. That's my beliefs.
So are you saying that if another fire company gets ticked off at you, too bad?
Well, see, politics will get somebody hurt or killed in this county. And it's just a matter of time until it happens, and I hope that never happens. But there's going to be accountability somewhere, and somebody's gonna get sued. And I don't want it to be us.
Can you pull the shade down?
Yeah.
I can't see.
it's that one.
Yeah.
So it would be better to
Thank you.
try to get as many people
getting
as you
blinded.
can
If
and
you're
the
getting,
right apparatus
business commercial comes in, it's clearly it's a business commercial, so county knows this isn't your residential, but this is going to have a lot of potential people involved because of the employment in business commercial factories. So putting an alarm together like this, in just my opinion, in today's society, it makes sense to bring more and not need them and send them home. And if their feelings get hurt because they're sent home, that's on them. Doing the right injustice for our township, our residents, I think they deserve that.
Okay. And I agree with you completely. The only issue that I had is that we're not utilizing the one closest to us. That was the only issue that I had. You're using their engine.
Correct.
The
We're using
engine.
their engine.
They have a lot more
That's
engines.
all
Okay,
in the box.
I misunderstood you. I thought you weren't calling
Oh.
9 at all.
No, he's
You
talking
said-
about the ladder truck,
I was talking about the ladder truck.
and I'm talking about their engine. Their engine.
And I apologize. I don't
I'm
have
still-
to yield my
I'm
papers.
still having a hard time
Well,
believing
you're not
it.
gonna see what I see either.
Are you gonna send a ladder truck through the city of Lebanon
Yes.
when you have Ebenezer sitting here?
Well, I'm getting their engine, which, depending on the situation, we're going to put the fire out prior to us getting on the roof. So I'd rather have engines there than ladder trucks. We can do truck work without a ladder truck. But we can come back and revisit this. We can. I can talk with Mr. Leonard. I can talk with the city chief. I can talk with 48, and they can come here. We can talk about it. But,
I understand what you're saying. I can understand John's point too.
Thank you.
I'm not sure what happened here with your copies of your box cards, but your next one is just a business commercial and second alarm. We're gonna skip over that one. You're probably gonna see a barn fire first alarm and a barn fire second alarm. We do not have barns in our township, so we don't have to worry about them. And I don't know why. Either these are old box cards that didn't have the new information on as far as dispatch types. I'm going to review the other one here real quick. So I'll read the rest of them off here for you.
Actually, my first page in this
They're all the same.
too is, what is primary? What does that mean?
That is good. Those are your primary stations that you're calling in. So
It's an overview.
yes,
It's an
through
overview.
all the boxes. It's not, that's not a box itself. That's just explaining, all these different companies are involved at some point in time. A car fire. In the event that we had a car fire, we have engine 39 being dispatched. Our backup unit is rescue engine 14-1. And our another backup unit is engine 15. With being dispatched on the primary, we have squad 58. We're calling them in for two main reasons. If we have a car fire, we're going to be using SCBAs. We're going to be using air. We sold our squad. We do not have the ability to fill cylinders anymore. So we need something to fill our cylinders. And also they count as a rescue as well. The way the county determines a squad is they have a list that has to meet these requirements, but they carry rescue tools. Speedwell has the ability to put out a car fire themselves. Many other departments, and I don't like to speak on other departments, but we have the ability to do it. Other departments dispatch single engines to car fires. We can do the same.
Do you have what used to be called the jaws of life? Is that one of your tools?
We do not. We don't carry those tools anymore.
Okay.
Yeah, this is just for a car fire. In the event the additional is given through county, county gives us information that is important. We can get another rescue. We can add it on the box. The information the county receives and the information the county gives to us is very crucial in determining what asset is needed. I do not know what the old car fire.
I do. So the old car fire was engine 39, engine 15, and rescue engine 14. That was for a car fire. We don't need 3 engines for a car fire.
Right.
It's not moving anywhere.
Can you just put the city in service, the last car fire you had over the mall?
That would have been Chief Testerman. I do not know. I was not there.
14 and 9 and 39 were the ones that responded to that.
So for carbon monoxide detection, again, we have engine 39, ladder 9, and squad 58. Our backups are rescue engine 14-1, ladder 15, and rescue 24. When we go over these box cards, like I said, not everything's set in stone. We're just checking some things out. We have them pretty much the way we want them, but you know, they can be moved around. And then in the case the squad doesn't get out, you get rescue 42. If you have wires down, you have tree on wires, wires on the roadway, either one on your first hazard 1 or hazard 2, you're going to get our engine. That's the only engine that's going to be dispatched.
And these are the new cards?
Yes.
Okay.
Farm, industrial accident. This is a big one. Heavy equipment, loaders and parts. They have heavy equipment. Someone could be pinned underneath a bulldozer. Someone over Henry Molding could have, you know, an incident that they're stuck in a machine. We have engine 39, rescue engine 14-1. We have rescue 24, rescue 42. A backup unit for rescues is rescue 48.
Read those again.
Engine 39, rescue engine 14-1,
Okay.
rescue 24,
Okay.
rescue 42.
Alright.
And a backup unit would be rescue 48.
Okay.
In the event that any of them are not dispatched, we get additional rescue. Hazmat, engine 39, engine rescue 14-1, and squad 58.
And as well as on that, you will get the hazmat chief as well.
He is, they will contact him on the phone prior to dispatch, and they'll have a conversation of what is going on prior to his, you know, because he will determine what asset is needed to respond to that incident. Investigation inside, you get engine 39, engine 14, ladder 9, squad 58. In the event some of those do not get out, you get engine 15, ladder 15, rescue 42, I'm sorry. Investigation outside. This we kept the same. We did not change that at all. You get engine 39. In the event engine 39 does not get dispatched, you get engine 14.
You guys all know what the investigation outside is?
No.
So an investigation outside is something as simple as someone could see smoke in the distance and they might call 911, hey, I think there's a house on fire in that direction. Well, for us to arrive and find out they're just having a campfire or so on and so forth. They could smell gas. Somebody's gas meter could be leaking. I mean, you don't need 20 pieces of apparatus for campfire in the distance. I mean,
So it's basically inside a structure versus outside.
right.
Yeah.
So inside a structure, we get more equipment because that's contained to the house. So we got to figure out the problem for those people living there. Outside is generally outside. It's very vague of what would be called for that because it's, like I said, very simple to what the point of it is.
In the event that we have a land search rescue within the township, you're going to get engine 39, utility 14, utility 9, and in this case, special unit 66 duty officer will be notified.
And what is special units?
It is a search and rescue team out of North Danville,
With
Oh, I know where they are, yeah.
as well as most like hazmat would be notified as well. In search and rescue cases, many need more manpower and different assets. When you get involved with that, the hazmat deals with search and rescue, so search and rescue 66, and there's a couple other ones that will be involved depending on the situation.
And just so everyone's aware, a utility truck is just a pickup truck on wheels. Just a big pickup truck. Because there's certain points that an engine can't reach because they're so big and so heavy, so they won't fit in certain spaces. So the utility is just a smaller pickup truck that can access tight, smaller spaces.
In the event that we have a landing zone for Lifeline, just our engine will be dispatched.
You said just what?
Engine 39
Okay.
will be dispatched.
Your voice dropped there.
Sorry. In the event there's a mass transportation accident, let's just say a school bus, we have engine 39, rescue engine 14-1, and squad 58.
Skylar,
Yes.
with that, I know what you don't want to do with that box. Mass casualty could also be railroad.
That is correct.
Did you guys consider making a separate railroad?
There is a railroad box, but in the box card system here, like you would have to go in there and physically talk to them. It's vague on here. Like if you had a locomotive fire, like the railroad has its own. I believe I talked with John about this. The railroad has its own box, its own dispatch. So if you have a locomotive fire, if you have a wildfire, you have someone hit by a train, all those factors will bring different resources. It's all call pending. That's something I'm going to sit down with the CAD organizer there at county and discuss what we really want sent in the event that something happens there.
And mass transportation, in addition to school buses, we've got a public bus that goes through the
That counts.
township.
Anything that's carrying more than a typical passenger car is considered mass transportation. If there's a med assist within the township here, you get engine 39. It stayed the same from the previous box. If you get a miscellaneous call could be a cat stuck in a tree. We'll use that as an example.
Ducks in a drain.
Ducks in a drain, something very, that's not, we don't go to emergency responses on miscellaneous calls such as that. You're just gonna get our engine. We're gonna skip over the business commercials. And we're gonna skip over our multiple dwelling. Reason why I'm skipping over that there, actually, each other. We have our business commercial and multiple dwelling, and pretty much our structure fire all mirror the same. Because in all three of them, some form of fire is involved. So, one may be larger than the other, but they are still requiring the same amount of manpower, apparatus. But we'll come back to that another time once we discuss the business commercial. In the event there's an accident, a vehicle into a structure, what you're going to get is engine 39, rescue engine 14-1, and squad 58. If there's an accident with injuries, you're going to get engine 39 and rescue 14-1. That has not changed. We do not carry rescue tools. We have the basic tools, but we do not have the jaws of life. We don't have spreaders. We don't have cutters. So rescue engine 14-1 needs to be on that box for accidents such as that. Other building, could be a shed fire, could be smaller than a typical garage. You get engine 39, engine 14, and rescue 24. And for the second alarm of that, you get engine 15, wagon 58, engine 11, and ladder 9. You're getting I'll explain that to you. You may ask questions on that. Engine 11 out of Palmyra is our RIP team. In the event that
Is your what?
a rapid intervention team.
Oh, okay.
In the event that there was a fire, business, commercial, any form of fire where a fireman can be, entrapped, we want the best coming in to assist us.
Gotcha.
They've always been our RIP team. The only reason why you're seeing them here is because they're going to be automatically dispatched. Before, we had to request them to the county, which takes up time, You know, there's a million other things going on in the fire scene. That's one less thing we gotta do. So they'll be automatically dispatched. They know when they get here in the township to be with command and assess the situation, and they're ready in case anything happens.
Okay.
And I know it, like you think nothing should, but Chase has fallen through a floor and had to be retrieved already.
Yeah.
Because in the city they had a door thrown over a hole in their floor.
I missed the door.
And he missed the door because it was smoky and stuff. He just stepped. So they're used. They can be used and they can be very helpful.
So pretty much to break it down for you, from the time dispatch comes in to the time the chief goes responding, let's say about 3 minutes. So by the time that 3 minutes happens from him to go responding, you have another 3 minutes till he's on scene. That's already 6 minutes. It's for him to get there and confirm it's a fire, that's 6 minutes that they could have been dispatched. So by the time they get there, that 6 minutes is already gone. They're already dispatched. You don't got to worry about it. When they come, they know what they're to do. They don't have to ask. They don't have to be told. Come, set up, wait there till you're needed, if needed.
In other words, they rescue the rescuers.
That's correct. You want the best coming for you, you.
This isn't a boxcar question, but who dispatches the fire police?
County.
Is it-
County is.
The county does.
It all depends how you have it in box cards, but yeah, they dispatch. Anytime Company 39 gets dispatched, fire police is dispatched
In
as
our
well.
township.
In our township.
It's only in our township.
Yeah.
Or we respond. Like if 14 has an accident and they need fire police, they have to specifically call for 39s, even if our engine is on it. Otherwise, the insurance may not cover it because we weren't dispatched.
I read those logs, you know, the EML logs,
Yes.
and so I'm wondering, is there a lot between the lines? Is there a lot that goes on between the lines? What I see in reading?
Yeah, not everything is visible, I say, to the general public. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
guarded.
That's not everything's going to be visible for everyone. For an outside tank fire, this is kind of vague. We could be talking, the way county has this in here, it could be a 20-pound propane bottle, it could be a 100-pound propane bottle, you know. The information that's given to county kind of determines what resources we need. But in the event that
Something that's outside? of
yes,
the-
correct. Outside tank fire is how it's listed. Engine 39 will be dispatched, and rescue engine 14-1 will be dispatched.
Well, hazmat be notified.
All depends on the size. If it's a 20-pound propane bottle, no. If it's a 100-pounder, could be, potentially.
You probably don't really know, do you?
I'm sorry, what?
You probably don't know, do you?
No,
Not when you know. Which, the answer to that, whether,
if
what point
if the
would,
caller said, hey, I got a 20-pound gross gas grill bottle, you have a gas to your grill bottle, hey, that'll kind of determine, hey, what do I need? Or, hey, my 200-pound tank outside, there's something burning off there. Like I said, the information that's given to the county and then passed on to us is very crucial. It helps determine, what resources are needed. Rescue. A rescue could be a child locked in the car. It could be, it wouldn't be anything industrial, like a hand stuck in a machine. That would go to farm industrial rescue. Rescue could be also tied in with miscellaneous. It could be ducks in a storm rain. It's kind of vague how it's listed there, but you'll get our engine 39. On a spill control, motor vehicle accident is just a spill control. If it's determined that you get oil on the roadway, spill, you'll just get our engine 39.
who covers the trail, the rails to trail?
That's North Lebanon.
Okay.
Yeah, that's theirs. Our line stops on the east side of 25th Street. For a truck fire, you'll have engine 39 and rescue engine 14-1. That stayed the same. as previously. Train and rail, this comes up to your question here, Justin. It really depends on the information that's received. In this case, we kind of put a lot on there. It could be a brush fire on the train tracks. None of our apparatus is equipped to go down there. It's very narrow. You know, we only cover, it's about a mile, give or take. I believe it's less, actually, of the railroad there. So we have our engine coming from the north. We have engine 14-1 coming from the south. We have a TAC 9 and we have a TAC 48. The reason why we have TACs there, in the event that you need to get down the railway on the shoulder there, those four-wheel drive trucks have the ability.
What is tax?
So a TAC is a small truck that is equipped with water to fight like brush fires, and small vegetation fires and stuff like that.
So
They're called a TAC. No, it's a pickup truck.
Literally a
Oh.
pickup
It's
truck
a
with
pickup truck.
tools.
And it has more tools and carries water on it.
It can get into smaller
Who
situations.
has that?
Ebenezer has one up the hill, and the one we have listed here is out of South Lebanon, because that's the next closest.
South Lebanon?
South Lebanon, across from the prison.
For a wildfire, we just have our engine. There is, if you look around West Lebanon, there isn't much of vegetation around here when you consider wildfire. The bulk of it you would see would be on the train tracks. You know, if you look in Alamo Way, you know, it's basically in the city line there. Everything else is very small shrubbery that our engine can handle. Attacks aren't really, I don't want to say needed, but they're not initially dispatched due to our township setup. For a water rescue, we have engine 39, rescue engine 14-1, and we have the hazmat boat 51. The quarries are not considered West Lebanon. West Lebanon operated. Is that correct, John? The quarry, you guys take care of as West Lebanon Township, but they are not.
We'll take care of it.
That's
No
Lake
problem.
Henry.
You know, that's all North Lebanon. So
No,
we,
it's West
not.
Lebanon.
That's
What over
West
here is
not.
West Lebanon.
yeah, that behind Henry Building.
That's West Lebanon.
Yeah.
The other two are North Lebanon.
Yeah. So we have boat 50 on there in the event that something would happen back there. And we have rescue engine 14-1. They're set up for ropes and rigging.
Right.
So we have those two resources. When you dispatch boat 50, you're probably gonna get rescue 50 or another piece of apparatus to provide help with them as well.
So,
May I ask a question on that?
Yes.
Oh, this goes back to Dan Kaufman when he was our EMA director.
Okay.
His biggest concern was they couldn't get down to the quarry because there was no maintained access. You know, trees grow up and things. Has that changed?
Not to my knowledge.
there is no access.
No access.
It would
Yeah,
be-
that was his biggest concern, and that was many years ago.
It could still be an issue. I'm not sure if the fence is around there. I'm not sure the whole setup exactly on that part. It's something that we need to look into.
It was a struggle when that young man had drowned
They had
10, 15 years ago.
an access point. If you were to come out of the Boss Cobb's lot, right before it would turn, the road would turn there to go back to Longhorn. There's a section of fencing, and there used to be a slope where they launched the boats down. You might remember that. Unfortunately, this township, the fire company's been over there before for drownings. But to answer your question, that's private property, and there is no access points.
Wow.
So in the event something would happen, we really have to assess the situation. What is needed? What is our best access point? We can set up pre-plans for that, so we know, hey, this is how we get in. This is what we're going to do in the event of an emergency. We have to review that. That's something that's very important. It's on the list of things to check out. Definitely is. I have not been over there personally myself, but I tend to be over there at some point in time and see, bring the whole crew over, bring our mutual aid companies in to look at that. and say, hey, this is how we're getting in, this is how we're gonna deal with this situation, this is where we're gonna set up our manpower.
John, is there an access road over there to get to the quarry?
Mall closes.
So if nothing else, they could use a ladder truck, park along the guardrails there behind Boscov's, and ladder truck to go down in.
Too much of a.
The only possible point I could see a truck being utilized would be to the rear of McGuire's Nissan. There's a fence line there that ends, and that is directly where the pump house, the old pump house sits, with steps that actually go down to the quarry, if I remember correctly.
I'm not familiar with that, but,
That old pump house was Cleveland Brooks, that's how they got water. From the quarry.
Make sure if there's any trains or anything over there, Scott, you just get permission from that quarry.
who is the quarry owner?
Douglas Henry Molding.
That is all, for the box cars, that's all we have.
Okay.
Now, if you want to, we can set up another meeting, revisit our dwelling fires, our business commercials, and our multiple dwellings.
What was that again?
We can set up another meeting to come back and discuss business commercials, structure fires, and multiple dwellings.
Well,
I don't know that we need to have another special meeting
No, I
for
don't
that one
think so,
issue.
yeah.
I don't know if your fire company's aware, it costs the township money to have these special meetings. It has to be advertised.
Hence the reason I don't think we need another special meeting to do that.
I think you've got it pretty well figured out, although there are some areas of
I can take,
disagreement.
this is what I can do. I can take ladder 48 off and I can put ladder 9, but if it's actually a business commercial, get ladder 48 anyway. So I'm gonna put them on. Whether you get them the first alarm or the second alarm, they're coming.
Well, you're not using the city.
Nope.
The city will still be on.
City's still gonna be on, I'm not taking the city off. City's
He's
gonna
just
stay
gonna
on.
switch.
So you have 3 ladder trucks.
No.
He's just gonna switch engine 9 for ladder 9.
Yep.
So it'll be ladder 15 and ladder 9 instead of truck 48.
And
So
I'll
truck
have to
48
find
will be
another
second
engine.
alarm.
I'll be short an engine, so I wanna find another engine. Or I can just find another engine for my second alarm. Which I have to sit down here with Chase and discuss that. We wanna coordinate that appropriately.
I think maybe some of the confusion is that you're using the same number, but sometimes it's ladder and sometimes it's engine, so.
And that's the problem with some of the old box cars is they were double pulling, so you weren't getting.
Sufficient manpower
Right.
out of one station.
So if you pulled ladder 9, you weren't gonna get engine 9. So if you pulled engine 9, you weren't getting ladder 9. So we had to
Difference with the
decide.
city is you're always gonna, you know, I don't wanna say always, because the city, they could be on another call, and you may not get the city, truck or engine. You may get another piece. Whoever's next due, whatever the next due ladder truck is, that's the truck you'll get. Same way with engines, you know, if another engine's tied up on a call, it's gonna go to the next closest engine.
Skylar,
Yes.
what made you come up with 48 for your tower? There's a reason behind it.
We've always had them. And
Yes.
they've worked very well. They've always brought a lot of manpower. You know, I'll give you a prime example. Henry Molding, you don't even, you know, in the event that we have a fire there, they come in, they know right to go, they know that roof, they know what to look for. You know, these are guys that, you know, been around longer than I have. They know the drill. We don't want to reinvent the wheel here.
And ladder 48 outside of Palmyra is probably the best ladder company in Lebanon County, and they're 2 miles down the road from us versus the one that's a mile up the road.
They do
I'll tell you.
truck training.
And they are the best trained company next to Palmyra. But if we're pulling the rescue engine from Palmyra, we don't want to strip Palmyra of their resources.
When you're looking to finalize it.
No,
So I need signatures.
40 is
Well,
right across
we
the
did
street.
talk about it, and I could be wrong, but my understanding was when we had this meeting, when we talked to the attorney, it was to then vote on it at our April meeting.
Mhm.
So at
That's
our April,
what I think.
that's what I thought we had talked about. To vote on them at our April.
Okay, so the takeaway for this is you're gonna provide John or Antoinette the latest update that you're gonna want us to sign off on?
I can email them to you.
Yeah, we can make our changes and we can get them to you.
I mean, but I could change right here. I mean, we didn't really change anything.
Okay.
We pretty much kept everything's on the system here. I can send them. How do you want it done? Because someone has to send it. You know, you got to sign off of it. You have to be in contact with county. I'm going to be involved in this process, so I'm going to make sure that they are all the way in county and they're put in
I would
correctly.
say send it to the township.
I have a little suggestion.
Yes.
You've got some blank space here. I think it would be helpful for somebody like me, if you said, ladder 48, if you just say,
They're abbreviated. So
I know they're abbreviated, but I'm saying you've got the space just to humor people like me. If you could say what the abbreviations stand for.
The problem is these are actual, like,
these are templates, and I just filled
yeah,
them
these
in.
are county
Right.
forms.
Generally, the
There's,
general
there's a
but-
chart on the county website.
Yeah, and
What?
There's a chart
Okay.
on the county website you could
okay.
print out to go with it.
It has to do with the CAD, what they can and they can't program.
I can type ladder in there, and the only thing that's going to benefit would be for someone that doesn't understand.
and then you're not going to see the full
It's
word
not,
ladder.
you know, for them to punch it in the system, it's,
No, I'm not suggesting,
yeah.
Somebody
It would
else
be
punch it
beneficial
into
for
this.
you, but not for maybe others, so.
Okay, this has nothing to do with the boxcar,
But then we can't-
but what, for my own
Yeah.
edification
Oh, okay.
and being president of the board,
Yes.
I'd like to know
Okay.
is, how many drivers do you have?
How many drivers? Myself, we have Chase, we have William Testerman.
You just give me a number.
I think
Six,
I'll
about.
have to write down
Six,
names.
It's like
Seven.
5,
For six.
it's like 5 or 6.
Okay.
You want to drive for us?
What's that?
You want to drive for us?
You wanna come be a driver?
Said you have some
I
glasses.
spend
here.
enough time here.
Hey, step over next door.
How many, I know you get the president, the vice president, the treasurer and all that stuff, but how many volunteers do you have?
Well,
That's,
active.
And I know that
No.
fluctuates, cause you got active and
No.
non-active
No.
and some will and some won't.
we can't. But we can't talk about all this because we only had permission for the special, like the box cards.
We'll talk about it in April. I personally would like to know in case somebody would ask me about the fire company, at least I'd have some kind of
If
knowledge.
somebody
we're always
should
looking
ask
for
you,
members.
right, if somebody
Always.
asks you, refer them to our president, because our numbers change
Well, I know
constantly.
that, I know that.
Are you finished with your part of it for us?
If you're happy with that, we'll
we'll
kind of
be glad.
finalize this a little nicer here for you.
Well, I was gonna say, we have some public here, maybe ask their input if they had any questions for you.
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna get to that. Does anybody have any other further questions?
By changing these cards, will it also move your fire company out of our township to other townships?
As far as what, like we respond to other municipalities.
Correct, sir.
Yeah, we are currently responding North Cornwall. We're getting some great relationships with other companies we're working on. So we will be responding out of West Lebanon, which is very common for everybody. Everybody responds everywhere else.
As a follow-up question, do you as the board have to approve them going to another township's box card?
No,
No,
when we approve the mutual aid, we have a mutual aid agreement with other companies within the county. By having that mutual aid agreement, just like with us, he's putting Never Sink on our boxes. They can put us on their boxes because it's in the agreement.
And we want them to work together.
Understood.
The only thing I have here is we have a shared box with Ebenezer. It is considered a 93901 box. that is a conversation I'm gonna have with the chief up at Ebenezer as far as setting up that box card. The way it sits right now, our engine's on it. They have, I'm not sure exactly what they have on to the state as far as apparatus responding in. We're gonna come to an agreement as far as what's going to respond there and what's not, and then that's, I'm not sure how you wanna handle that because that is 2 different municipalities agreeing on one box.
What happens is, 2 chiefs
Yes.
prior.
Yep.
Worked the box card out. It was given to both municipalities. North Lebanon has to sign off on it, and West Lebanon has to sign off on it.
They're the exact, it's the
So if
exact
the 2
same.
chiefs ain't working together,
Yeah.
neither municipality's gonna sign
No,
off.
no, it's as simple as just have to make a phone call, talk to him, and get that together. I mean, the way he has it set up now has worked very well. You know, we're bringing an engine. If we can bring 2, we'll bring it.
The reason it's that way is because down the middle of it, part of the mall, as with the whole tag, part of the mall is North Lebanon, part of it's West Lebanon.
Yep.
That's why it's a 939 box. It's a weird box, but that's why it is that
The
way.
entire mall area, the mall itself, the mall parking lot, is all split between us and North Lebanon. So that's how it works that way.
You'll be able to do this before our April meeting, right?
Oh yeah. I don't think I'll be changing anything on that box card. It looks fine to me.
Yeah.
But I'll be in contact with the chief up there, and I'll be in contact with them, and we'll draft something up and present it to you the same night.
Put it on the agenda for April.
Yeah, you just gotta get us copies,
Yeah. Let me.
Okay.
and not the day of the meeting.
No, not that 24 hours or you'll get the ACLU in your
It'll
back.
be on the agenda before.
Okay, I would like to thank everybody that attended and the fire company and all the people that belong to the fire company. You provide a unique service to the township, and I hold that in a pretty high esteem for you.
Thank you.
All I ask is just do a great job.
Oh, we try. We do the best thing we can.
Thank you, I really appreciate it.
Okay, I think that's gonna be
Make
it.
it,
I'm gonna adjourn our next meeting, regular meeting.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion.
I need a motion to adjourn.
Is there a
So
motion to
moved.
adjourn?
I will second that.
just say
Is
all
everybody in
those in
favor?
favor.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
It's all right. All right, our next regular meeting is April
First.
The first.
April Fool's Day.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. All right. Thank you again for attending, and
Thank you.
we're done.